Welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year. I'm so happy to see you all here in 2023, and thank you all who have subscribed to my new YouTube channel. I am really working on getting consistent content up for you guys. Today we're just going to do a straight pour on a 20 by 20 inch canvas, and I already have my colors mixed up, but I'm just going to show you the full process. This is a different size canvas that I normally work on, which is a 16 by 20, but I've actually decided to, step it up a bit and work on bigger canvases during this new year. Just one of the small goals that I had set for myself. Okay, I went ahead and set up my 20 by 20 inch canvas. I'm using a gallery wrapped heavy duty canvas by Artist Loft. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the plastic, and I'm going to just show you how I prep my canvas. This is just one that I'm doing just because this is not a commission painting, but I do have 4 smaller commission paintings that I will be working on for my dad. So I will be recording that process here on YouTube, and I will be doing a Dutch pour for all of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and, so I removed the plastic, but you just wanna check the integrity of the canvas. Just make sure, just give a quick look over just to make sure there aren't any like scratches or indentions or anything you don't want on your canvas if you was to sell this to someone, right? And it is, I do want to point out that I could use a little spray to tighten up, use a little water to tighten up the canvas, but I'm not going to, because I will be putting, this will be a straight pour, so the paint is a little bit thicker, and that will tighten up the canvas a bit. But after it fully dries and I need to tighten up my canvas, I can go ahead and do so. I am going to take these gloves off temporarily so that I can tape the back of my canvas. I normally do this when I'm working on commissions, but I have been in the habit more of doing this when I'm not working on a commission, because I do plan to sell all of my artwork. So, as this one is completed, and as long as there are, as long as it dries how I want it to dry, and there aren't any like lumps or cracks or anything like that in the paint, then I'll go ahead and put this on my Etsy shop or Instagram. But all of my artwork that I create and post here on YouTube is available for sale. So if you would like to purchase one of my paintings, you can go ahead and reach me at deniseartnook@gmail.com, and I will go ahead and get you set up with payment and shipment, and we will be all set. I do have an Etsy shop, but it is currently down at the moment. I'm not really sure if I want to continue selling on Etsy in 2023, but I'll definitely keep you guys posted on that. Okay, now here I am just covering the back panel, all 4 corners, with some blue painter's tape. I purchased this particular tape from Dollar Tree for $1.25. Here we have Light Rose by Amsterdam. And I mixed in a little bit of Rose Quartz by Extreme Sheen. Here I have another custom color. This is Permanent Light Rose. Permanent Light Violet by Amsterdam, all acrylics. And I also mixed in Opera Rose by Winsor and Newton. Here I have Van Dyke Brown by Liquitex Basics. I didn't mix anything special with this one, just Van Dyke Brown. Naples Yellow, and I mixed in the Color Shift Pastel Yellow, a little bit of Yellow Orchid, and I mixed another color in with this. I can't remember. If I remember it, I'll put it in when I list the color. Here I have Unbleached Titanium. This is just unbleached titanium, no other color mix by Liquitex Basics. And before you use your paints, you want to give them another mix. Here I use Iridescent Copper, Iridescent Precious Gold. I mixed in a little bit of Burnt Sienna and Raw Amber. So the Burnt Sienna is by Winsor and Newton. The Burnt Amber the Raw Amber is also by Winsor and Newton. And then the iridescent paints are by Pebeo. So I mix all of those in here. And I forgot one color I added with this. I just remembered when I was putting my paints away. I also mixed in Extreme Sheen 24 Karat Gold. That is also the same color I mixed a little bit in with this one as well. Okay, now that our paints are all mixed and ready to go, I'm going to remove the craft sticks, just because I don't like pouring with the craft sticks in the cup. And you just clean the craft stick off. I set my craft sticks, here's a little pro tip. Once I clean my craft sticks off after mixing up my paint, I set them on my table, which my table was covered with a tablecloth, but I set them on my table to dry. And because my craft sticks are long, because I like the longer craft sticks because they're easier on my hands, because my craft stick is long, as you can see, I only used about half of this craft stick, and this whole other half has not been used. So I set this on my table to dry, and I use the other side to mix up paint. Pro tip, we use a lot of supplies doing this type of art, doing this style of art, different techniques. So I feel like it's very helpful that if I have tips to share, if others have tips to share, that we do so, because be a little bit wasteful, and you want to minimize the waste as much as you possibly can. I mix up a white for this straight pour today because I'm using the unbleached titanium as my white. Sometimes I don't feel it's necessary that you put white in every single painting, but if you're using like reds and greens together, or green and like brown, maybe other colors that will mix and make mud, I would recommend using the white to split up, as a barrier in between each color so that they don't overmix. But I don't think it's necessary that you put white in every single painting. Just my personal preference and a pro tip for those who think that they have to put white in every painting. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and get started with the light rose. And when you're layering, like in my previous video, you want to make sure that your layers are even. So when you're pouring paint in, you want to make sure you're pouring the same amount of paint of each color. And you also want to layer light, dark, or if I started with the dark color, then I will go dark, light, dark, light, dark, light. But since I started with the light color, I'm going to go light, dark, light, dark, light, dark. Now, normally I would put a flow around my puddle, but I'm going to stretch this out a bit because it is quite a bit of paint on the canvas. So we're just gonna stretch this out some, just so the cells can do and the paint can do what it wants to do while we get the flow extender around. Now you do want to have a hot air gun or a torch. That's enough paint as a flow. Let's get that together. And now I'm going to just spread this out because this is my flow. So this is going to help the paint glide along this dry canvas. That is just what the flow extender is for, so that you don't lose the good parts of your painting, and it'll help hold your composition together once you're done initially tilting. You know, once you've done your first initial tilt. Okay, I have that all on there. Now, I'm just going to tilt it out. I did tape the back of my canvas, so I'm good. But just have something to clean your hands off with so that you aren't, you know, making a big old mess. So now what I'm doing is just stretching this out. I like to stretch it out first and not necessarily go over the edges. Just like to stretch it out and get as close to the corner as I possibly can. And then bring it back to the center. And then once I came to all four corners, and that last corner that I come to, then I'll go ahead and stretch it off over on the edge. Bring it back to the center. You want it, when I say bring it back to the center, I'm bringing the weight of the paint back to the center. That's what I mean. Now I see a lot of air bubbles, so this will be a good time for you to set your canvas back on your paint stands or reuse or used paint cups like I have. And then wipe your hands off because you don't want to drip on your canvas. So wipe your hands off. Or gloves, however you're doing it. Get your hot air gun and pop those air bubbles. I like what's going on in here so far. I love this area so far. I love all of the layers of color you can see there that I used. Okay, so now I'm going to find the weight of the paint, and I'm going to keep stretching it out. Now, I'm not too concerned that I'm not going all the way over the edge there, because since I did use the same color I used in this pour. I'm not concerned with that yellow showing at the corner there. I honestly don't think you guys can see this, but I'm just gonna have to keep tilting and then show you when I'm done. Okay. Now here I'm just going to set it down and just see what I like first, and see if I want to keep tilting, if I want to pour another cup. What exactly do you want to do, Denise? Because so far, I'm not liking this area, and I kind of just want to tilt it off. Touching up my corners, or at least making sure my corners are covered with paint. Sometimes with the deeper edge canvases, you will have to stretch more on the corners than you like. I don't necessarily like touching up my corners at the end. I prefer to make sure the paint reaches all the way over there during the tilting. I don't like to grab some paint for underneath and then patch up this big old hole because the paint didn't go all the way over to that edge. I don't necessarily like doing that. If you like doing that, it's totally your preference. But my personal preference is, one, to make sure that I have enough paint to cover the entire canvas, even the sides and the edges. And then when I am tilting, just make sure I tilt with the deeper, the wider edge canvases. The gallery wrap canvases have wider edges than the standard canvases, stretch cotton canvas. So I just make sure that I am tilting all the way over the edge. But you have to have enough paint on your canvas to do so. Now, I'm just not necessarily liking this area over here. I don't know if it just got too mixed. The color got too mixed there. And I just want to stretch it out more. Okay, I like that. See? That's all you have to do. It's just keep stretching. Because it's not over until I say it's over. Okay? And just keep working the painting. Keep working the painting. Okay, here's what the painting looks like wet, and in a few days I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like dry. Thank you all for watching me today, and if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you for subscribing to my channel. If you are not subscribed, please go ahead and hit a subscribe, like this video, and comment and share with someone who may be interested in acrylic paint pouring. And bye for now.